Can you build and publish a full VR game in just 30 days with AI? Well, that's exactly what I decided to do 30 days before attending AWE 2026 as a speaker. Why? I wanted my talk to be practical and showcase the end-to-end agentic workflow process. I've also always wanted to release my own mixed reality game on the store. And as a developer advocate at Meta, it is extremely important for me to consistently use these tools so I can better help developers throughout their own journeys. In summary, I learned a lot, and as you may experience yourself, the process is not as simple as it might actually look. But today, I'm gonna show you how I simplified that process. I was able to build different versions of the game in just 30 days. Between each version, we'll look at the features I added. Then we'll build V4 together and publish it to the store by leveraging a cloud skill that I created to simplify the build and publishing process. All right, let's jump into my computer and start working on it. All right, guys, so the first thing that I want to show you is all the different MCPs that I have installed. I installed the Meta VR MCP and also the Unity MCP, so this is going to be very important throughout this video. Also, let's go ahead and go to Cloud and check which tools are available on each. On the Meta VR MCP, you're going to have a variety of different tools that communicate with the device, that communicate with the documentation. Unity MCP also is going to allow you to communicate with Unity. So these two are going to be key. Now, if you want to create a game such as the one that I just created, here's a prompt that I ended up adding. Specifically, I started with the core component, which is the basketball hoop. I created a plan. Once I was happy with the plan, and you can look in here, some of the different items that it created and some of the verifications that you can also do during play mode. Now, if you look at the basketball hoop, these were the results. Obviously, it didn't look as good at the beginning, so I went through and iterated a couple of times until the physics on the net were about the way that I wanted it to look like. And you can see here how amazing it looks. You can test it as it was indicated in the plan. This prompt allowed me to spawn a ball from the controller and then basically launch it with physics. Again, you can look at the Claude plan, and also when you're ready to execute it, you can basically just go ahead and execute it. Some of the different classes that were created were this one, which is the controller ball launcher. Also, if you wanted to have additional effects, I ended up doing a trail render effect that shows with the ball. And one of the ways that you can test it is basically using the Meta XR simulator. You can see here that the prompt that we executed was successful. I can launch the ball. We have a trail render that it's executing. And then at some point I wanted to create an actual game loop. And in this case, it was very simple, a very minimalistic style, but it gave me the starting point of what I needed for the game to run for 30 seconds. When it elapsed, basically I capture the score. You can also add additional prompts to basically polish your game, right? So because I'm thinking on doing something that is more like feature-based, I ended up doing a prompt for each feature. In this case, I wanted the prompt to improve the look and feel. You can see the results here. Also, now not only it looks a lot better, but also I have different effects, right? When I make a score, there are great lines that show on the actual backboard of the basketball. All right, so I think that looks pretty cool, but I also wanted to create a tabletop game, and that's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So that's what this prompt is going to do. It basically is going to take the physical experience that I created to a tabletop game. And I get that inspiration from Apple Vision Pro, and these were the results of that. I actually added hand tracking capabilities, which were part of the prompt. So I also had a few issues though. In the editor, if I would move the basketball hoop, the net didn't actually move. So that was something that I had to tell Claude to fix. I also wanted the trajectory basically to be represented by a line render. That's something that I also had Claude do at the beginning. It wasn't working correctly. And then another issue was that I was actually scoring, and every time the ball would go through the hoop, it was actually incrementing the score multiple times. So I had a variety of issues. Nothing in here was perfect, but I learned a lot through the process. And you can see here that because things were working more times than they weren't, I was able to implement a lot of features. I created a theme system that would allow me to change the entire game into different looks. with poke interactions. That's what you see flat on the actual game. And then I also added visualizers, which I like a lot, and also a new onboarding process. So many features were added during the development of this game, which again, it was only 30-ish days. All right, so let me just show you here how the themes work. You can see here the editor tools that I just mentioned. You can change them by using the inspector, and this is one of the editor tools that I ended up using, and it allowed me to develop faster because I was able to test it right there without having to deploy to a device. Now, in the beginning of the video, I show you that we had an MCP specifically for Meta VR, and that's what this is. If you use VSCode, which is what I ended up using, you can basically find the Meta Horizon Meta VR CLI, which exposes also an MCP server, and it provides a variety of tools. So the MCP is pretty powerful because when you try to ask Claude anything specifically to VR, it's going to allow it to basically give you better results. And to install it is pretty simple. You can execute it as I'm doing right now by accessing the extensions folder. And the Meta VR CLI provides a variety of commands, just like you guys can see right here. But they also provide something called init, and that command is going to give you a walkthrough of how to install the MCP for different type of tools. In my case, I'm using Cloud Code, so that's what I ended up selecting. You can also install the Meta VR Agentic Tools plugin, which provides a variety of different tools. You also need to authenticate to Meta Horizon. That is actually optional, but if you do, there's additional functionality that is going to allow you to use. Now, I talk a lot about existing features, but what if I wanted to create a new feature? And that's what I'm gonna be doing right here. We have Meta VR available, we have the Unity MCP available. So I wanna tell it to basically create a kind of like a destructible feature so that I can launch the ball against the walls, against the ceiling. And every time I destroy one part of the ceiling or one part of the wall, I'm going to basically give the player a point that is going to get queued up. And once it's queued up, if the player scores the next time, we're basically gonna be accumulating those points and giving the players what they got at that point, plus anything that was accumulated. So you can see here on the results that is basically using Meta VR CLI quite a bit, and that is very, very important because it's pulling information from the documentation. It even look at the examples for MRUK destructible component, which is exactly what we need to do. You also get an opportunity here to give it more guidance of how this should be implemented. In this case, I want this to use MRUK Destructible Global Mesh because I know that that's the component that is going to work best for this feature. Also, another question that is going to be asked here is what is going to happen when you hit a wall? Is it going to show a pass-through area or is it going to show the virtual world? I made the mistake to select pass-through hole instead of virtual portal scene, but I ended up changing that later on. But you can see here that I could select one of these or I could change my mind after. Okay, so now that I'm happy with the plan, I'm going to make one more change. And you can see here that I want the chunks to also fall with physics. And the result is what you see right now. This is the entire plan. This doesn't mean that I'm happy with it. I could tweak it and I could keep iterating. And that's the key of basically working with agents. You can iterate, just think about having, basically this is your project requirement document. You are iterating through it, and once you're happy, you can execute it. So in this case, I executed the entire plan. You can see all the different tasks that were applied, and it'll tell you here what you need to do to verify it. So now let's look at the results. You can see that I can hit the walls by basically using my pull ball mechanic. They get destroyed, they reveal the virtual world. I can also look at the points that got accumulated. And then if we wanted to change the theme, it basically works with the existing implementation, which is really cool. I didn't have to change much of that code other than adding a new property to the theme that was also going to apply changes to the skybox that I created procedurally. Now, one area that I didn't talk about was the Platform SDK, and these are things like leaderboards, achievements. So this is a plan that I created a while back. I think it was about 2 weeks into the game, where I wanted to implement a leaderboard because I wanted other people to play with me. I wanted people to get engaged in the game. So you can see here the initial version of the plan that I created. It told me exactly what the setup was gonna be, what SDK I needed. I knew that, but a lot of people don't know that, right? And also what files were gonna change, what files were going to be created. Another area that saved me a ton of time, and I would say is one of the main reasons why I was able to get these to the store so fast, is by creating this skill. So this skill basically allows me to say submit a game, and it goes through the entire process of signing the APK, populating release notes, submitting that to the Meta Horizon store, which requires some of these different settings here. So let's go ahead and test it out. I'm gonna say submit new version of my game, and you're gonna see that it's going to use a skill. It's gonna go through the entire process, and basically it's gonna do what I call continuous integration. You can see here the version that was submitted, it was incremented, what channel it was, what the build is, what the size is. And I can also go to the Meta Horizon developer dashboard just to look at the state of what was submitted. You can see that we have version 1.015 here available. I can also look at the state of the process. So right now it's basically going through test results. And also the release notes is something that I added later on. Well, I hope you enjoy watching this video today, and don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions below. Also hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel. That's gonna really help me in bringing you more videos. And I know that many of you are not subscribed because I'm looking at the data, and that data tells me that the majority of you haven't subscribed to the channel. That actually helps me not only in growing the subscriber base, which helps, but also in giving me signal that you are enjoying the videos that I'm pushing out. Well, happy XR coding everyone, and thank you for watching today's video.